Hey guys, it's Bev, and I'm going to Skills Ontario. This year I'm going to be a judge, and as I have been for the past 3 years, but I've been going since 2016, and I absolutely love it. So you're going to see me there constantly if you guys are there. And then how did I end up there? Well, it was actually pure nosiness and a lot of hard work. So I just happened to know a lot of people. Usually I'll meet people because I'm working like 47 jobs. But during my downtime, I like to give back and support those who have supported me. So both schools, Sheridan College and Conestoga College, both schools that I have worked at, are contributors to the precision machining, CNC machining, and millwright competitions. So I like to go in and help out wherever I can. So this year I'm going to be a judge at the Skills Ontario competition. And yeah, you're going to see me walking around there. Let's go look at what that looks like. Day one is going to be on the Thursday, and that actually is going to be the day where we do our setup of the competition site. So for the precision machining competition, what that basically consists of is that we're checking the mills. We want to make sure that their polarity is the same for every single mill. That way we turn the switch and they all turn the exact same direction. For the lathes, you're actually going to see, we're not using these exact lathes, but for the lathes, you're going to see that we have found one thing to be wrong with them. It's not wrong, but it's more that we have to adjust it so that the competition is fair for everybody. What you're going to see here in this video is actually that some lathes have a switch for their on, like the actual power to them, and some have a push button. So we had to switch the ones that had a push button to an actual switch. There's a little bit of electrical that had to go on there, but that's the millwrights doing that, not me. Thankfully, they are licensed and able to do that. But this is all in the pursuit of fairness, to make sure that everybody is dealing with the same conditions. That way, we can't get any grievances about, maybe this machine was acting in a different way and it puts somebody else at an advantage. So the skills competition is probably the best example, or one of the best examples, of industry and education coming together to support the next generation of your tradespeople. So you're going to see a lot of industry leaders will be sponsors for different competitions. Sometimes there are cash prizes. Sometimes it's going to be, they'll get you tools. It depends on the competition that you're in, but they're here to support us and we're happy to have them. And now once everything with the machines is figured out, we'll be ready for competition day. Now, what competition day consists of is everybody comes together early in the morning, and we have to make sure everybody's on site, because there is a chance if you show up late that you will not be able to compete. That being said, in the very beginning of the day, we're going to give them a rundown of how the competition will work. That's going to include how safety infractions work, how machines are actually run, because not every school, like we do have a high school competition, so not every school is going to have the same machines as we do. So we make sure that we're going to show them exactly how the machines that we have on site actually work. Day one of competition is going to be the apprentices. So you're going to see students from colleges or students from an apprenticeship program that might be even run through a company. So you will see the older grouping on the first day. And because the first group is all apprentices, they must have a sponsor. They cannot just independently walk into the competition. So they have to be sponsored either by a company or by a college. So, like I said, there's a lot of colleges that are involved in this competition. And because our day one is going to be apprentices, that means a lot of the apprentices are from different colleges. So, how do we keep things fair? Well, everybody is a number to us. I hate to say it like that, but that's basically what's going on. We don't know what their number is. We will write on their sheet if there's a safety infraction. At the end of the competition, that sheet comes with us so that we can deduct marks for those safety infractions. But when it comes to grading a part, that goes to Mitutoyo, actually. They're going to check all sizes that they possibly can with their CMM, and then we will check the things that they can't, and then we will take all the safety infractions, put in the deductions, and then that's what's going to get them their marks, or their final ranking. That being said, if we know a competitor, so you will see in our competition, there is a competitor from Conestoga College, so we do know him. The way that we keep that fair is that we do not talk to him. We stay away from him. He is basically being isolated from us. Another judge from another area, another college, another company will actually go and speak to them if they have any concerns or questions, anything like that. So the structure of the competition for both the apprentices as well as the secondary school students is going to be the same. So you'll have 3.5 hours per machine. So the first 3.5 hours you might be on mill, and then we cut the day in half, and then you switch to lathe. If you do not finish the part, we'll still take it in and we will grade it as is. And now, day 2 is our secondary school competition. So these are all high schoolers working from their high school machine shop. What that means is, like I said, they might have a whole different machine from what we are provided at the colleges. We do get a different type of funding at the colleges. So it's a little harder to know what the high schoolers are working on. The concepts might be the same, but they might have a lathe that can't do threading, something like that. So we will actually show them how to thread on our machines. If they are uncomfortable with doing the threading portion of it, that is totally all right. We do not want them to work on any procedure that they themselves do not know how to do or are not confident in. And speaking of the high school students, you'd actually be very surprised at how well they do because of them having to accommodate different machines. You will find that they tend to be a little more crafty, or they find little different ways to do things that the apprentices will have more of a procedure for. So it is interesting to see, and it is really good because it shows us that next generation is pretty ready to join a trade. Now, once the competitors are finished competing, this is for apprentices as well as the secondary school students, they are expected to clean their machines. As I've said in previous videos, I expect that if you use a machine, that you will clean it once you're done. So the same is expected in the competitions. That being said, once the competitions are done, they are able to go around the contest site, meaning all of the Toronto Congress Centre. They can go see how other competitors did in their competitions as well. So, because they were able to, let me show you a little bit of what we saw in the other competition sites. And once those competitors are done, we will take in their parts, we will take in the marking sheets that go with those parts, and we will grade everything. So we will be looking at things like surface finish. Of course, we're looking at sizing. We're gonna look if anybody crashed a machine. Again, the safety infractions, everything is going to be recorded on those sheets. From there, we will take those numbers and we will give them a grade. Those grades will get ranked from 1 to however many competitors there are, and then the number that goes with that competitor is found out by our tech chair, and that will determine who comes in first, second, and third. Once everybody is ranked, that goes into the Skills Ontario competition. They will take in all of those marks. Every mark has to be listed for everybody, so we know the standing of every individual competitor. We're not only looking for first, second, and third. But all of that goes to Skills Ontario. They will take that information in, and then that goes to the award ceremony, where the competitors will figure out how they placed once everything is done. And the first place winner will be able to go on to Skills Canada, which is held at the end of the month, whereas Skills Ontario is held at the beginning of the month. Now, this is not a qualifying year for WorldSkills, however, the previous year was. So you will see, I will do a video on Skills Canada, but you will see in that video people wearing red and black. Those are the competitors who are going to be going to WorldSkills in September of this year. Now, regardless of how the competitors place, we are so happy to have them compete in the competitions. Regardless of how you do, regardless of where you come from, it is a big thing to be able to compete. I know that when I was going through my apprenticeship, it is not a thing I could have done. I was riddled with anxiety. So I do absolutely want to acknowledge how much goes into being able to compete in one of these competitions. And we really just want to acknowledge and make sure everybody understands that we know how much it can take out of a competitor. We are extremely proud of you guys, regardless of how you placed. That's it, guys. That's a wrap for Skills Ontario 2026. These are all the machines in their positions to go long, and our lathes, we have to take off the covers for the gears. So here we go. That's it. Ta-da.